Welcome to the Building Newfoundland and Labrador podcast, dedicated to exploring the interesting journeys of the people in the provincial construction industry. Presented by the Newfoundland and Labrador Construction Association, produced by Gale Force Winds. Join us as we chat with the inspirational individuals that ensure the continued growth of the construction industry and the province of Newfoundland and Labrador.
The Building Newfoundland and Labrador podcast, and it sure is exciting to be here at the Build Expo 2023. I'm Alan Dale. This is my good buddy Jerry Carew. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Well, I'm Wayne Stokes. I'm here representing CHESS, which is the Canadian Healthcare Engineering Society. CHESS is a group of like-minded individuals who work in healthcare, who provide facilities maintenance, management, and planning and engineering construction services within healthcare. And our goal basically is to improve how our members in CHESS do their jobs in the various health authorities right across the country and so on.
Interesting. As I said to you before we started recording, I didn't even know you existed. So it's really neat to be able to sit and listen to you.
Yeah, so we're kind of in the background more or less of what the public generally sees, but within healthcare we're extremely important because we support the workings that happens within healthcare for people who are engineers, architects, consultants who are doing work in healthcare facilities, or facilities maintenance and facilities managers who work there, or tradespeople who work within there. So we provide services to help them do their job better. And that's essentially our role. And we also partner with outside contractors. That's because we also have contractors who do work in healthcare. And working in a healthcare facility is not the same as working in an office building, or building a new office building, or renovating an office building, or a school, or anything. It's two different completely things. First of all, we got to try to stay operational at all times so that our patients and so on are kept safe, and that's what we try to do. We try to make everyone do their jobs better.
It's a fascinating conversation that not a lot of people would understand, but once you turn a hospital on, it doesn't shut down. It doesn't shut down, and if you look around here in Newfoundland, there's a lot of construction work going on at the various hospitals from right across Newfoundland and Labrador. So it's and the other side is if you think of we just gone through a pandemic and kind of still dealing with the after effects of that, we still had to do construction. We still had to do work in there. We still have to provide the services. You still have to provide housekeeping services. You still have to provide maintenance services. You still have to do some renovation work, regardless. Yeah. So the work continues on. So it is interesting. It's not easy work in terms of being able to work around a hospital that is in a 24/7 operation, and it's not easy trying to make sure that people are safe. The patients are safe. The staff are safe, the building is safe. You have to maintain that safety more so than you would, let's say, outside in a public sector area or in a private sector. So companies that might be here on the trade show floor that are looking to perhaps pick up contracts to do work on the hospital and stuff, as you say, and you rightly point out, it's got to be a whole different ball game, right?
It is.
You want to do some work there. You're not putting up a warehouse here, right?
No, it is different. I mean, all the construction components of renovation and construction are still there. With the added thing is that we have infection control that has to be taken care of. You can't, there's certain things you can't do in a hospital that you can do outside. If you notice, if you walk into any of the hospitals that are currently under renovations, you'll find that there's a lot of white tenting or hoarding, we call it, put up around. That's to enclose that construction area and keep it safe. You'll see hoses run through the hospital that are ventilating the air out of those construction spaces and dumping it out. And that air is being filtered before it leaves the building, and things like that. So it's those extra tasks that you have to do that is there as well. There has to be a very close relationship of working it. So, for example, the various maintenance departments, infrastructure support or facilities maintenance departments within a hospital has to work closely with its service contractors and with contractors coming in doing larger works. But those people who work in those contracting companies the employees that come in there, they have to understand that you just can't walk around in a hospital with dust on your feet. You can't excavate outside an area of a hospital or close to a hospital where you got windows open, because things out of that excavation, bacteria could get into the hospital and infect people. You think about heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Those systems are extremely important in the hospital, because we have to maintain clean air, fresh air, safe air. And when I say that, those systems got to be maintained all the time, and you got to be careful. So we want to make sure that contractors who come into the hospital have enough knowledge and an awareness of what is required to work in a hospital. And that's one of the courses that we provide. So we're an education group, Chess is. We are a networking group, so that facilities, people working in Newfoundland can converse with people who are working in BC. If they have problems, or if you have a problem in one province, you can talk to your counterparts in another province and determine if they had ran into the same thing and they get solution. And that's what we provide is, education. We're trying to support the people that are working in healthcare facilities through education, through information, through webinars, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and help those companies that might be here to, be proactive in how they do business with the hospital, right?
Oh, well, absolutely. But not only that, but it'd be nice to have more contractors able to bid on projects, because before you work in a hospital, you've got to have certain things passed. You've got to do an orientation course. We would like you to see contractors do what we call the CAN-HCC course, which is the Canadian Healthcare Construction course, specifically designed for contractors and consultants and engineers to do before they come into a hospital. And now that's not mandatory, but it is certainly something that we're striving forward to get people involved with. I mean, within the place I work at, we have orientations requirements. You come in, your employees have to have a certain amount of time being oriented to hospitals, how to work in hospitals. There's also CSA standards that we got to go maintain, such as CSA ZAD 317, which is the infection control standard for renovation and construction of healthcare facilities. That is an extremely important standard that we got to adhere to. There are standards for such as health wayfinding in a healthcare facility. All of these types of various standards that are out there by CSA. There's medical gas standards that have to be adhered to. So there's an awful lot in healthcare that is not necessarily in the private sector.
How do they get access to you? Like, if there's a company out there, they're listening to this podcast and they say, I'm interested in some work at the hospital, how do they get access to you?
Well, the easiest access is to go online, and it's basically just type in the words CHESS, C-H-E-S.
That's complicated around Newfoundland. You might wind up with a two-piece with
but that's really the point. It's better to go online, type in Canadian Healthcare Engineering Society.
Right.
And let me tell you, that society is national in scope. We have well over 1,000 members in it.
Wow.
Yeah, and all of us are volunteers.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's something.
Yeah, the whole group is volunteers. This is not a paid organization. We do have a national office that's being managed to do all the bookkeeping and all that, but everything else is all volunteers. And through this organization, we offer courses, we offer webinars, infection control. We do a lot of webinars on infection control, for example. We'll do a webinar on commissioning. We'll do a webinar on HVAC. Or there may be a company out there that has experience in dealing with cleaning of ductwork. And so we'll see a webinar on the pros and cons of doing, not to sell the equipment, but the pros and cons of cleaning ductwork using method A. Right. All right, so there's all kinds of that support. And we have a national conference every year in September. This year it's in the Winnipeg, Manitoba. In 2019 it was held here in St. John's at the Convention Center, and it was a huge success. And then in the Newfoundland chapter, of which I'm a member, the Newfoundland chapter is puts out once a year professional development days. And in that one day, we will run through 5 or 6 different topics, speakers of interest that are interest of the people around, and it can be attended by anybody, contractors, consultants, engineers, vendors. Vendors are very important to us, right? And so much like this Newfoundland Labrador Construction Association conference. So we'll do that, and we'll have that, and one of the topics I'm really looking forward to seeing is the use of robots within a healthcare facility. And I'm not talking about robots that will work on you or your health, but I'm talking about robots that do other tasks, like bringing goods from one area to another area, or robots that can interact with you and help you find your way around a facility. That's the type of stuff we're going to see in our next PD Day, which happens to be next week. So it's just a one-day event, but it's something that we offer to our membership, and it's, we usually operate them based on sponsors and so on, much like Newfoundland Labrador Construction Association.
It's interesting, I was at a robotics trade show in Singapore maybe 5 years ago, and they were saying then that the number one use of robots would be in healthcare.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting, I thought.
It is,
yeah.
and we're just on the tips of what's available and capable,
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that CHEST does to support its members who are working in healthcare, and the members, their main goal is to provide the best service to its patients, to its staff, to keep our buildings well run, and so on. And that's what we're there, to support them in doing their jobs.
Well, I can tell you, that was a fascinating conversation. An organization that I was not aware of.
Yeah.
I can immediately see the importance of it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm certain that the industry can immediately see the need to be in a conversation with it.
Right. So one of the things, somebody asked me, well, why am I down here at the Newfoundland Labrador Construction Association? Well, prior to the pandemic, I had a conversation with the Newfoundland Labrador Construction Association because we want to promote that particular course of CAN HCC. We also want to promote the other aspects of our programs, such as, I used access to CSA codes. If you remember CHEST as an example, you can get access to upwards of 15 predetermined CSA codes that you can go online and read and so on without having to pay for it. That's vital to a person that's working in a healthcare facility, or to any CHEST member. The other side of that is, when we talk about our partnership, we're hoping to have a good partnership with Newfoundland Labrador Construction Association, because we're looking to, put it out there that, hey, we're here to help, and we're hoping that by being here, having a booth here at this particular expo, we will get some of that messaging out and so on.
Yeah. And
likewise, Newfoundland Labrador Construction Association, because of their broad reach, and this is also, by the way, it's not the first time this has been done. It's been done in Winnipeg and in Manitoba and BC with our chapters out there with their local construction associations there. But the main thing here is that we want to partner with the construction industry to help us do what we do better.
You're in the right place, isn't
You're
it?
in the right spot here.
Well,
for sure.
this is what it takes.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to provide the best service we can, and it's all about the patients and our service to them and our staff who are working in our facilities to make sure that everybody is safe, they have a clean space to work in, and that the facilities that we build or renovate are the best they can be.
Wayne, thanks very much for bringing our attention.
You're more than welcome.
A very important organization, and I hope as the members watch this, they'll see the need to reach out and say, how do I get involved in this conversation? Well done.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, and nice to meet you all, and have a good day.
Thank you for tuning in to the Building Newfoundland and Labrador podcast, presented by the Newfoundland and Labrador Construction Association, produced by Gale Force Winds.